Hey, what is up, guys? This is JD Rich here, coming back with you for another One Piece video and discussion. So, good news, people. It appears that the spoilers, brief spoilers, not the full, I will say, but it may look full, but I'm just going to call them brief. The brief spoilers for One Piece chapter 1163 are out. Let's get straight into it. Now, the cover page. The cover page features Luffy actually performing parkour with some monkeys. And given that we're now getting cover page, given the transition that we get from Yamato to now Luffy, we can expect pretty much more Luffy cover pages from here on out in the story. Not like from now on, I guess, but I'm just saying, like, for, I guess, a portion of the rest of this flashback, we can expect to get more Luffy cover pages. And I think that there might be some hidden clues within them that may tell us, that are a hint as to what could possibly happen within Elbaf today. Especially considering that he's like doing parkour with monkeys. That's gotta be something significant behind the meaning of that specific type of cover page. Like, I'm thinking, what about Elbaf? Like, I'm thinking, what could it tell us, if anything at all, about Elbaf and what Luffy may do or attempt to do? And on top of that, since there are monkeys on the cover page with him, could this imply something that Luffy unites the animals to help fight against Imu and his conglomerate in Elbaf or something like that, along with the crew? Who knows? But this just a little speculation, I like to guess. Now, going into the chapter, it appears that Big Mom is actually joining up with the trio. Big Mom comes into the fray to join Whitebeard, Kaido, and Zebek against Imu. Now, this is good. This is very good because exactly, guys, if you remember in chapter 957, I keep bringing this up, Sengoku's Afro. In Sengoku's Afro, the main six that were inside of his flashback were Rox himself, Whitebeard, Kaido, Big Mom, Roger, and Garp. So now that we already had 5 of those 6 already there, now Big Mom coming in, it just adds more weight to what we saw at 957, and we're gonna get more of that. So Sengoku's perspective was right as far as attendance, but seeing how these events are about to play out, that's a whole nother story. Now, Big Mom joins into the fray. She is here. She's here to get, you know what I'm saying? She's here to get her hands dirty, here to get inside the action. This is just gonna be amazing seeing all 4 of these members together. But then after that, after Big Mom comes into the fray, you actually have some commotion off to the side between the Rox Pirates and the Roger Pirates. It appears to be a fight, a big all-out brawl amongst the crews themselves, while the main heavy hitters of each crew are off tending to Imu. But the rest of the crews remaining from each opposing faction are off to the side having their own brawl. And it appears to be some type of personal beef going down with Captain John and Ganzui or whatever. You know, the person that we saw, the Rox member who we saw attacking Scopper, and Scopper just casually blocks it with his axe. So I assumed that he would still be fighting Scopper, but I guess Scopper may have been too much for him to handle. Or Scopper just got preoccupied doing something else, like getting the treasure, you know, put more, after he, I guess, had that little skirmish with Ganzui, Scopper just focused on getting whatever crew to help him load the treasure on the ships while still fighting simultaneously Rox fodder at the same time. Now, what would cause Captain John and Ganzui to fight each other? Could they be fighting over treasure? Could they be fighting over fruit? Possibly. But like, what would just, out of the blue, this is just a random, you know, matchup, because we've never really seen them interact with each other. But at the same time, you have to remember, Rox's crew were not all bound together, buddy or nothing like that, man. They were all there for their own, they were all there for their own reasons. Everybody has their own motive and agenda for why they're a part of this crew. But also, you got to remember, I think it was Ganzui who said it himself, like, or it was either Ochoku or Ganzui who said it himself when Rox and Kaido had their little skirmish. And one of them, this guy said that basically this crew was bound to implode one way or another, but we can't afford to do that right now. Fighting amongst each other right now is only going to further delay our goals. I'm paraphrasing, y'all, you know. But they basically, it was either Ganzui or Ochoku. One of them said that, yo, if they fight amongst each other, it doesn't provide them any benefit. Even though they may end up, you know what I'm saying, disbanding as a crew regardless, because everybody has their own ambitions that are far above the importance of them being a collective together. So Captain John and this guy fighting, I mean, we could speculate amongst many things of why they're fighting, but I think it may come down to a personal, either, if not a personal grudge that Oda has yet to reveal or expound upon, it may just be them wanting the same treasure or same devil fruit that they may have came across. Because after all, we got to remember, Ganzui was attacking Scopper for the treasure that they were collecting right then and there. So more than likely, it may just come down to the treasure they're trying to collect. But for them to be fighting amongst themselves, as well as the rest of the crew fighting the Roger Pirates, you got to think that they would put their heads together and be like, okay, our enemies are right in front of us. Let's take care of them. Then we'll come back to each other. But we're not really seeing that right now. It appears that they're just hashing it out. Now, moving on, Roger and Garp. Roger and Garp join the fray. Roger and Garp get involved, and they instantly take sides with Zebek's crew and his faction. So you got six of the greatest Conqueror's Haki users in the world currently right now in this flashback, all going up against the world itself, as Zebek described Imu. This is amazing, man. Seeing all of them, I mean, like, it's like a Justice League in a way. You know what I'm saying? You know how Justice League, they had the original 7, but in this case, it's just like 6 members regarding the One Piece characters. But still, man, this is like a pirate and marine Justice League right now, the way they're banding together to fight Imu, especially given that Imu is possessing Saturn as well. So Roger and Garp, they're stepping in, and it appears that they are actually gonna do a combined attack. Think about this, a combined attack from all 6 of these people. This is the way that I'm imagining them drawing this out. It just blows my mind out of proportion. How are you gonna draw, and not that you can't, but it's like, what are we expected to see from a Conqueror's clash, a Conqueror's attack from all 6 of these individuals at Imu? Now, if they did this to any other entity, I'm pretty sure that entity would be like dead or maybe something like that, knocked out, unconscious, to the brink of death. Like, anybody that takes this attack is obviously, they're basically gonna be cooked. They're basically gonna be cooked. Like, it's no coming back from this. But Imu, as it appears, he takes this attack. Imu takes this attack and then just regenerates. So, like, clearly, it's not, I don't think it's a case of the Conqueror's Haki not working. It just may not be working on the base level that they appear to all be using it. Who knows what level that they're using it on? Because we know that there are different tiers to Conqueror's Haki. We know for a fact there is. Yes, if you can use it, you are pretty much up there as far as the top tier characters. But the way you use it, the way you refine it, control it, and harness it, and the way you bring it out, that speaks volumes to technique and control and your willpower. So Imu regenerating from this, it just shows that, yo, yes, Conqueror's Haki can affect him, but it's not doing any significant damage for Imu to just come back like this. An attack like this from all 6 of the best, and you just regenerate out of nowhere, as expected from a boss level, final boss character. But Conqueror's Haki has got to be the way you get defeated. What, like, how much more? Because look at what Joy Boy's Haki did to Imu. You see what I mean? Look at what, like, Joy Boy's Haki wasn't even an attack. It just really flashed out from Emmett taking out that noose on Egghead. So from Emmett releasing that rope or whatever, that slip knot or whatever, then Joy Boy's Haki just comes out and it actually hurts Imu. It disturbs Imu and brings Imu to their knees. So Conqueror's Haki clearly is the key to defeating Imu, but I guess it's a certain level you have to use it and a certain way you have to use it to really affect him. Because for Imu to just come back from this attack, it's just really showing like, yo, the basis of your Conqueror's Haki is useless unless you refine it and exert it more. But exert it doesn't mean just like you put more effort into your punch. It's just like you refine the technique and enhance the ability to basically indirectly hurt your target. So they have to, all 6 of them have to find a way to do this. Even them combining together clearly shows no match for them. Now, moving on, it appears that Imu actually was playing some psychological mind games with Xebec. Imu called Xebec Davy D. Jones. He referred to Xebec as Davy Jones, man. And Xebec told him like, yo, I'm not that guy. However, a promise must be fulfilled. Man, I got chills from this. So, despite Xebec, you know, with Imu calling Xebec Davy Jones, and yet Imu didn't do anything when Xebec invaded the flower room. Like, what is up with that? Why is it now you want to extinguish this guy and his clan, yet you didn't start with him? Because, like, thing is, if Imu would have actually did something to Xebec back in that flower room, Imu would have a much easier time dealing with God Valley and exterminating the Davy clan as a whole, because you wouldn't have Xebec here to put up any resistance. Why didn't you kill this man right then and there? Like, why is that? That just, it speaks volumes to me, because you had him in the throne room invading your castle, invading your holy land, telling you that he's gonna come back. Then you call and you refer to him as Davy Jones the moment you go to his homeland to extinguish his people. You would have an easier time if you would have gotten rid of him back then, right? Like, I'm just saying, like, you could have gotten rid of him back then and he would not be here to interfere with any of your plans to get rid of the Davy clans now. So, with that being said, man, this promise, what is this promise about? What does this entail? Is this something along the lines of Davy Jones was supposed to defeat Imu? Or could it be something else to where Davy Jones made a deal with Imu and Imu reneged on the deal, and it was a promise that was supposed to be fulfilled? However, Davy Jones just swore vengeance and that he would be back. Hence why Xebec saying that I will be back when he last entered that flower room. And now that promise or the will of that promise is now amongst Blackbeard to rise up and fulfill and see through. So the promise could be either either Davy Jones promised to return, he promised to defeat Imu, or there was a promise that Imu was supposed to fulfill on Davy Jones' behalf of him doing something for Imu, which could possibly had a hand in Joy Boy's death. And as a reward, Davy was supposed to get something for helping Imu win that battle, if Davy Jones interfered at all. But if Davy Jones made a promise along the lines of, if I help you defeat Joy Boy, will you bring me or give me this of what I want? And Imu somehow screwed him over on that. We don't know. But we could speculate it's one of those 3 options. It's either Davy Jones just made a promise to return to the world itself, or Davy Jones promised to defeat Imu and take over, or there was a deal that was made between Imu and Davy Jones, and Imu did not fulfill their side of the bargain. If they did, they screwed him over. They manipulated their side of the bargain for Davy Jones to basically fall under the circumstances that he did, to perish to the seas back then. Who knows, man? But obviously this promise is going to be heavy within the future of the story, as it's now carried on Blackbeard's shoulders. So, also, it appears that Rox came under the confines of a Domi Reversi. Rox got turned into a demon. Oh my God, this completely blew my mind, because I assumed that his will was too strong to do that. But apparently there may have been some malicious mental mind games played by Imu with his threats and his basic proclamations to end his clan, and basically verbally manipulate Rox into believing that, yo, this is going to be the end for you. This is going to be the end for your clan. There's nothing you can do. I'm going to wipe you all out. By the way, you know what I'm saying, Davy Jones was a punk or whatever. You know what I'm saying? The same way I did Davy Jones, I'm going to do to you and your clan. I'm going to sink you all to the bottom of it. You know, I'm not saying that that's what Imu was saying, but I'm just saying that, like, that type of psychological verbiage of back and forth between Imu, it had some effect on Rox's will, because it's like he's trying to save his people. You know what I'm saying? And he also wants to protect his family at the same time from this extermination. So apparently Rox came under the whims. He became subjugated to the Domi Reversi, basically, man. Like, this guy is now rendered under Imu's will. So it appears that even the top tiers of the best, and Rox being one of those, man, he came under the Domi Reversi. So this can actually happen to anybody. Now, even though it can happen to anybody, it doesn't mean that just anybody can't break it. Because I'm pretty sure there's a way you can break it. If not individually, or if by people helping you. But it all comes down to your Conqueror's Haki and your willpower. So apparently, if your will is somewhat flustered and shaken in any way, you could be subjugated to the Domi Reversi. If not, you could fight it off if the attempt happens. But if the attempt happens and it gets a hold of you, you'd have to pull some serious mental strength and fortitude in order to break it. So it appears that with someone of Rox's caliber, anybody is susceptible to the Domi Reversi. It appears even Roger and Garp may be. Even out of everybody here, the fact that the top guy got subjugated to this, crazy. So it can have, anybody can get it. And with the current Straw Hats on Elbaf, if Imu was to subjugate anybody to that, you know, the perfect choice would actually be Robin. Demon Child, I'm just saying, Robin, the Demon Child, Nico, Demon Child, Robin, Domi Reversi. If Robin got turned into the Domi Reversi, bro, that would, oh my goodness, I don't even want that to happen, but it would make so much sense for it to be Robin as the first victim if Imu was to do that currently in Elbaf to the Straw Hats. Robin would be a perfect choice for that. Like, she just would. And the fact that she has the Demon Child moniker, a Demon Child of Imu, like, come on, man, that would be perfect. But still, I don't want that to happen. But if it does, gosh, how much that would drive the story, man. And what would Luffy do? I know Luffy would lose his mind. So, moving forward, Rox is now subjugated to the Domi Reversi, and Imu orders Rox to kill his wife and kid, to kill his family. So wherever Eris is, I really hope that she gets out of there in time. I hope that she gets out and gets Teach to safety. And on top of that, if Rox goes on to try to kill his wife and kid, will Roger and Garp, or Roger and Garp have to interfere? It may be Roger, and Garp may end up following through behind them in a way. But if Imu orders Rox to do that, what's gonna happen with the rest of the people here? Like, as far as like the remaining 5 heavy hitters that are here fighting Imu, what's gonna happen with them? So after Rox goes off to carry out Imu's will of killing his family, Imu still has to tend with Roger, Garp, Big Mom, Whitebeard, and Kaido. So what happens there? I mean, the fight obviously continues, but how bad will they get damaged? Will they get Domi Reversi? Is it just Rox? Because it seems like it's solely Rox being Domi Reversi because the objective of Imu's mission is to execute the Davy clan. So that's the priority. Now, everybody else, they're just, how can I say this? They're just happenstance. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're just casualties of being in a way. You know, they just happen to be there. They're just in the way. They're temporary nuisances that Imu has to put up with until he wants to dispose of them at his will. But other than that, man, Rox is attempting to try and kill his family because he got subjugated to Imu's Domi Reversi. So wherever, in a part of me, I want Eris and Teach to get off the island, but a part of me knows, as well as I'm pretty sure everyone can speculate, that they may still be on the island. And if Rox tracks them down, oh my goodness, man. So if Rox ends up killing his wife by his own hands, and Teach witnesses that, man, how does Teach then escape? If this happens, how does Teach escape this island? Or is it a matter of she puts him on a boat and pushes him out and sacrifices herself? Like, I can picture Aerys like being encountered by Rox while he's under the emu's possession. Aerys can see this like, oh my goodness, he got you. Aerys can see this, put Teach on a boat, push him away anyway, and let Teach just sail out as wherever the waters push him. But yet, she personally blocks Xebec and sacrifices herself willingly, knowing that Xebec is possessed, but understands that, yo, he's obviously possessed. He would never do this to me. This is that monster taking control over him. And what if Xebec killing his wife is what snaps him back to reality? Like, what if Xebec killing his wife and then his will overpowers the Dome Reversi to realize, like, yo, Emu just made me kill my wife. How could I do this? And then this could be what sets Rox off, and also what sets him free. What if, I'm not saying that you need to kill somebody you love to free yourself from the Dome Reversi, but the trauma from killing your wife, the mother of your kid, could be so, because consciously there's still a part of Rox inside of himself, regardless of Emu possessing him. So if Rox were to encounter Aerys, and kill her, that could potentially, maybe, set him free to where he snaps out of it like, yo, but of course it's too late because he was already possessed and killed his wife. He snaps out of it, comes to his senses, and his Haki just goes ballistic. Like, his Haki just rages out. So with this being said, man, if he sees that his wife is now dead or with her last dying breath, you know what I'm saying, because of him attacking her, she's obviously gonna die anyway, right? But Estrid says, what if Aerys, I don't know why I keep saying Estrid. What if Aerys sees him come back to his former self and smiles one last time and says, hey, don't blame yourself. That monster took you over. I know you would never really harm me, but he harmed her out of being possessed. And then that could break his possession, the Dome Reversi, because of the trauma that may supersede and overpower his will to break that mental, you know what I'm saying, that demon Dome Reversi, to break that, and him to come back to his senses and realize, what have I done? Oh, Emu, you're gonna pay for this. I could see Rox coming back to his senses after he kills his wife, because it'll be like the greatest pain, that trauma from that pain of losing someone you love like that, the mother of your kid, you know? I'm pretty sure that's gonna fuel your will. That's gonna re-spark your will. Yes, you're gonna be traumatized, but you're gonna be so angry to the point where, hey, you don't care about nothing but hurting the person who made you hurt your loved one. So possibly that could happen. I'm just saying, I'm just speculating. Because it takes tragedy, you know what I'm saying, to bring out the best of somebody. Sometimes it can take tragedy to bring out the best of somebody's character and their will. And One Piece has kind of shown us that at certain points in the story, time and time again. Now, that's pretty much most of the spoilers for now, you know. What's gonna happen as far as, like, you know, Rox and Roger and Garp, how that may continue on, we don't know. But I got a feeling that if Rox is Dome Reversi and it doesn't go the way I said as far as like him killing Estrid and that leads to him breaking out of it, or if he does kill Estrid and he's still possessed, Estrid is gonna put Teach on a boat and ship him off to keep him from getting got, while also sacrificing herself willingly under Rox's blade because she knows he's possessed. Now, this may lead to Roger and Garp interfering somehow. It may be too late, or if they happen to save her, they save her. But Roger and Garp, this is what may lead them to fighting Xebec. But also, if this leads them to fighting Xebec, whether he's Dome Reversi'd or not, what circumstances could it be to where he's not Dome Reversi'd, or even if he is, right? Could they fight him to a point where he gets undome Reversi'd and then still continues to fight him? Or will it be a case of him killing Eris breaks his bind from Imu, and then he just wants to destroy everything, and then Roger and Garp still have to fight him. It's so many ways this could play out, man. Like, it's so, we know this is a leading factor to why they may get into the battle they're getting into with all three of them. But it's so much that could take it this way, take it that way. We have yet to see it. So yeah, man, Oda, you keep cooking. That's all I got for now. I'm gonna just leave y'all hanging on that part, man. I have to. This is JD Rich coming back at you with another One Piece discussion. A piece of life is life in One Piece. Peace.